What's happening?
So, all right, so Key just completely dismissed what I said, and also I think what Neek was saying yesterday about it feels like Rodgers is leaving that door open for a potential return, the conquering hero, the prodigal son comes home, and okay, I'm here to fix everything, and don't ever do this again. But Key is like, no, he's done. He is not playing. Well, which side of this are you on, Luke?
Yeah, look, I think I'm the kind of person who's going to take a guy like Aaron Rodgers at his word, which is. Now, obviously, this is secondhand because people have been reporting this, all right, because he's not been someone who's actually came out and said exactly how he really feels. But let's just say I'm going to take him at his secondhand word and say that he's not going to play or that he is right now looking forward to maybe having, a change of address as far as where he's going to play this year. And we're going to see now that training camp is coming up, which is one of those touch points, one of those markers, mile markers, so to speak, as to watch to see how this is going to play out. And then when the regular season starts, does he show up at training camp? Does he show up when the regular season starts? Is he still on the roster once the trade deadline passes? I've said all along the Green Bay Packers don't have to do anything. All they needed to do was either one, keep their mouth shut totally, or two, just profess that they were trying to work through this, make sure that Aaron knew that they were trying to work through the communication issues that they had and they weren't going to allow those things to happen again, and then just sit back and wait. Take care of business with Jordan Love. Take care of business with the rest of the roster. It seems as though Mark Murphy has kind of gotten that message, that he's decided to be quiet and not make any ridiculous comments to tick Aaron off. And that's exactly what they should do because the ball is squarely in his court right now. And he's continuing to be cryptic. He's continuing to say, well, I'm going to take a few weeks and then I'm going to start working out and getting ready. It's like, you're going to just start working out. He doesn't sound like a guy who's ready to go ahead and go to camp. Doesn't sound like a guy who right now is eager to get back and start throwing with his teammates and being in that environment yet. We'll see.
Lou, I feel the way I feel for a number of reasons. And you being a former front office guy and should be in the front office soon here again, if you and I had a confrontation and all of a sudden I decided I'm going to come in and play for you, but I don't like you, you're not... You're going to be around. You're not going to all of a sudden stop coming to work, coming to the building, walking around the building. You're not going to not be at practice. How awkward would that be with you on the sidelines and in my way around me? And I don't like your ass. That's why I have a problem. One of the things that I have a problem with. Aaron Rodgers is not going to want to look at that dude.
Yeah, it is awkward. I think even within that scenario, or within this scenario, generically, there's going to be levels to it, right? I may very well know that you don't like me, or that I don't like you. But I think your professionalism would allow you to go ahead and make the best of an awkward situation, only because you know that this isn't something that's probably, just a one-off situation. This isn't the first time it's happened in the NFL or professional sports, nor will it be the last time. There are many situations where there's high-profile players who don't like management. Management knows that they don't like them. Management may not be very fond of them either, but they know that they need them in order for them to ultimately do what they're paid to do, which is to win games. So you deal with it. But yeah, I think at the first chance that it makes sense for you as management to go ahead and move that player, and then from a player perspective, for you to get get out of town, you're going to try and do that. And I think both parties are going to work towards doing that. It's just that right now, look, as awkward as it may be and as uncomfortable as it may be, it just doesn't make sense. It just would not be a good look for Brian Gutekunst to move him, simply because, he can't get fair value for him. He just can't. I don't care what they give up. They can't. What a team gives up, you can't get fair value for a future Hall of Famer and a reigning MVP who plays quarterback, especially when you compare it to what you're going to then put on the football field in his place, which is an unproven guy who has not played a single down for you. So you're going to have to make the best of it, but you're right. There can be some awkward situations in the cafeteria, in the hallways, maybe in the weight room, who knows? I mean, it's going to be a very strange situation, and one that, they have nobody to blame but themselves, though, for creating. Because this could have been prevented, and I've also said that all along. This should have been prevented.
It should have trying to prevent something. Matt Nagy and the Chicago Bears are trying to prevent from being on the streets after this season. Who should they start at quarterback? Should it be Andy Dalton or should it be the young kid Fields?
Yeah, I think they should take this just as they're taking it right now, although nobody's going to give Matt and the Chicago Bears front office the benefit of the doubt as far as being able to make the right decision. But I think they're on the right track as far as bringing Justin along at the pace that he shows that he needs to be brought along, meaning this. If he continues to progress from a classroom standpoint to the point where he gets out on the football field and he is giving himself every chance he possibly can from a football intellect standpoint, being able to protect himself from making protection calls, getting themselves in the right plays and scoring points, when he shows that he's able to do that at a high level to where he can just go ahead and let his athletic ability shine through, then put him in there. If that's week 1, then it's week 1. If that's week 4, it's week 4. If that's week 8, it's week 8. Let it happen organically. I know that's not what Chicago Bears fans want to hear. I know Chicago Bears fans, and quite honestly, probably much of the media, doesn't believe that Matt knows what he's talking about based on some of the ways he's handled the quarterback situation in the past. But that is how they should handle it, just like he's handling it right now. Let it play out and let Justin determine when he's going to be on the football field. I personally hope it's sooner rather than later. I hope it's in the first quarter of the season. Because, look, no disrespect to Andy Dalton, although people will say as soon as you say that, it's going to be disrespectful what you say next. Andy Dalton can't hold a candle to Justin Fields from a talent standpoint, and we all know that. Chicago knows that. Everybody who watches football knows that. Let's just see that, when he gets on the field.
It's the idea of getting him prepared to play, and then when he's ready to. And Key's always said that too. Like, and you know this as well. Players will let you know which guy is the one that should start just by the way they react to him. With that in mind, I'm looking at the NFC East, and I wanted to get your thoughts on the anticipation of the Cowboys to sort of return, I guess, to the expectations that are always heaped on them with Dak Prescott healthy and back under center. With that division looking the way it did certainly last year, should they be the runaway favorites in this division?
No, not at all. Not at all. And look, see, this is the result of the fantasy football world, fantasy football mindset that we live in. We think Dak, Ezekiel, CeeDee Lamb, Amari Cooper, Michael Gallup. Oh my God, they're going to win everything. Oh, that's right. They have Zach Martin coming back, and he's going to be good again. So, and then they forget. Oh yeah, well, there's actually 3 phases to football, and we know that the defensive phase of their football team was awful. Now we also know that Dan Quinn better get it right, and they drafted 6 players consecutively in the draft this past year. So we know that there isn't a whole lot more that they could do to get worse than they were last year defensively, but they're not runaway favorites in the least. Look, Washington is for real. Their roster 1 through 52 is for real. Now, people say, well, what do you mean 52? Well, at 53, if you want to talk about the quarterback situation, we know Ryan Fitzpatrick is not the long-term option. But I'll tell you this. In the 9 games that Ryan Fitzpatrick played last year, and you look at his advanced metrics last year compared to the rest of the quarterbacks in the NFL, he's right there with all of them. If they can get that level of play, let's just say top 14, 12 to 14 quarterback play from Ryan Fitzpatrick, whether it be from total QBR, expected